Carlock. Minister, I'd like to first off raise my objection to this process, because I don't think we've been furnished with proper documents, and I think my party leader made this objection this morning. And it was also agreed that this would come before the Transport Committee before any final decision or any vote or otherwise was made. And your own colleagues and the Labour TDs agreed to this, that we would discuss this at the Transport Committee. And it is very sad that we've come in here today to express our opinions on a done deal that nobody outside of AIG and Fine Gael want. For one thing, it is utterly pointless and a mockery of democratic debate. The government have made their decision behind the closed doors in a shrewd media operation, which showed blatant disregard for the Oireachtas and its role in issues of such importance. No matter what anyone says here, the government will seek to sell their shares in Aer Lingus, and the weak and cowed Labour members will go along with it. This, to me, is a sham. To Labour, I would say that they really saw you coming, but in reality, Labour TDs here knew they would sell out and allow this deal. That is why they raised concerns rather than opposition. They hoped they'd get a deal which looked better. To be fair, it does look better than what has been previously offered, but it is still not the right thing to do, and Labour will be punished by the people for this. Have you not realised yet that the spin is only working in Fine Gael's favour, while Labour's subservience and silence is destroying itself from the inside? This is the wrong deal for Ireland, and Labour knows it. But they do not have the courage to act on that knowledge. Fine Gael and IIG are thick as thieves, and your party, having got the runaround, are being trotted out to say how all concerns have been allayed. Aer Lingus is worth infinitely more to Ireland than the $335 million this government will get for cashing in the 25% Fianna Fáil left the state with after their calamitous reign. It brings a secure and consistent connectivity to Ireland, which is vital to any island, but particularly a country which has attracted major multinational companies. A country is only attractive for investment when it boasts the facilities to make doing business there easy and secure. Aer Lingus for years has made Ireland at the far west of Europe and a vast ocean away from the United States, a place which can be reached without much trouble or planning. It also has a reputation as a quality airline with high consumer satisfaction, which promotes a positive image of Ireland across the world. Irish people have and continue to take pride in Aer Lingus. Thanks now to Fine Gael's desire to sell out as much of the state's assets as possible and Labour's pathetic subservience to them, Aer Lingus is facing into an uncertain 7 years, which very possibly will be its last 7 years, certainly as we know it. It would also be a very uncertain time for the thousands of workers who make their living as part of Aer Lingus or peripheral to Aer Lingus's operations in Ireland. The government says it has gotten assurances from IAG that they will not sell the slots, which was not a major concern due to their strategic importance to the company. They claim to have got a commitment also that the Aer Lingus slots will remain under the company's control for 7 years. On the face of it, that is a stay of execution, which should have never been entered into, but behind that there is a major question about the possibility that those assurances can be enforced or fulfilled. We are talking about the international air travel industry, which is subject to considerable oversight in terms of the rules by which companies operate, and particularly rules with government competition. Do we really believe it is possible for this state, in selling 25% of a company, to hold a major multinational conglomerate to agreements in our interest for 7 years and or after that? IAG are not a charity set up to provide connectivity and jobs to island nations. They are a private profit operation with only two interests: their bottom line and their shareholders, of which Ireland is not one. They do not care about the interests of Ireland, its peoples, or the workers who make up the nearly 4,000 employees of Aer Lingus, which would make up less than 5% of the IAG staff worldwide. Aer Lingus is a small but successful airline. It has weathered the storms of the downturn in air travel in the early 2000s and the economic collapse at the end of that decade. It has shown resilience and served the people of this country well, from the 30s up until now, and has provided connectivity and good jobs. Under this deal, sooner or later, that will be a thing of the past, and Aer Lingus as we know it will only be a memory. Aer Lingus has remained such a company despite privatisation due to the state's remaining share, which has represented the interests of Ireland up until now. IAG have track records that shows their interest is not in providing jobs or supporting the countries from which its airlines come. When Iberia Airlines was privatised, it was a good employer. Iberia became part of IAG in 2011. Less than a year later, it announced that 4,500 jobs would be cut from Iberia. That is more than the entire staff of Aer Lingus. This was done without the batting of an eyelid, and IAG carried on regardless, making huge profits for their shareholders at the expense of the Spanish state, who had to help those 4,500 workers to pick up the pieces. Guarantees a company will do this, or that is only believable on the basis that its shareholders will argue for such a practice. No one on IAG's board or among their shareholders will be arguing for the interest of Ireland. I want to quote Willie Walsh, CEO of IAG himself, because he has frequently made it clear what his intentions are for companies like Aer Lingus that has vital slots, especially at Heathrow. This is from an interview with Flight Global in Industry website. It's no secret that we've been interested in BMI, but largely because of its slots positions at Heathrow, rather than the brand, he says. Similarly, when I look at Virgin, what I see are slots at Heathrow. Virgin hasn't got an exciting fleet. What it has got are slots and a network at Heathrow. So if they conclude that what they're selling is, in effect, their slots at Heathrow, then we'd be very interested. This is from the London Independent from last May, where he says, the UK will lose out is that Heathrow will not be able to service to new booming destinations in the developing markets of the Far East, Africa and Latin America. We just won't have the slots at Heathrow. In the Irish Independent in February, he said, there would be some job losses if IAG buys Aer Lingus and enters into the deal. Willie Walsh has also tried to play down the importance of Aer Lingus slots, knowing that this is something which might cause problems for him and Fine Gael when a deal was being done. In the same interview, he said that the high values of slots at the moment did not indicate their value in the future. This is rubbish, as Heathrow is now almost certain to not be developing a third runway. Then slots now are more valuable than ever. The CEO of Aer Lingus, who supports the deal and will be handsomely rewarded for his shares, failed to play down the value of the Heathrow slots when he admitted they were worth nearly 500 million alone, which means that more than a third of the value IAG places on Aer Lingus is for the slots at Heathrow. This clearly shows where IAG interests lie. If you're fooled into thinking his hunger for slots only extended to Virgin. I think, have I run out of time there?
No, keep going, okay.
Okay. It is these slots at Heathrow which are so crucial to Aer Lingus' importance to Ireland. They provide excellent connectivity with one of our main sources of trade. It is one of the major reasons why people have a concern for this sell-off after issues of job security. Yet the government will get just over 300 million euros for its 25% stake, less than the value of Aer Lingus' Heathrow slots alone. If IAG decide to sell Aer Lingus or to wrap up the company, who knows what will happen to these Wafer tin assurances the government is heralding.
Can I move the adjournment to the debate, please?
I adjourn.
Come on,
I move
thank
to
you.
adjourn.
Thank you.